Good morning, yogis. It's CJoy from CJoy Yoga, and this is just going to be a nice short little practice to wake you up in the morning. You'll notice I'm still in my pajamas, which is usually how I walk over to my mat and try to open my body a little bit. So go ahead and have a mat if you have one, and if not, you can still do this on the ground. You can probably almost do this one, a good portion of it in your bed anyway. So go ahead and lie down on your back to begin. And for today's purposes, we're going to leave our knees bent. We're going to walk our right foot out to the right edge of the mat, the left foot out to the left edge, and let the knees lean in towards one another. Now go ahead and take your shoulder blades down your back, shoulders down towards the ground, and turn your palms up. And start by closing the eyes. We're just going to quickly move through the body, scan through, and find out where we are this morning, right? So as we move through, you're looking for any sensation, and that can be hot and cold, right? Those are sensations. It can be tingling, it can be pain, noticing that you're tight in a particular area in your body. Any of these things are valid. And if you notice you're holding on to tension, you're going to try to release that tension. So bring your awareness to the crown of your head, your scalp, and then soften and come into the forehead. Make sure you're not furrowing your brow. Soften the eyebrows and the muscles around the eyes. And let your bottom jaw release away from your top jaw. Even check in with the tongue and make sure the tongue is not glued to the top of your mouth. Let it soften, widen, and fall back to wherever it's comfortable. Soften the neck and the throat. And again, checking in and seeing if you have any pain from sleeping goofy last night, anything like that, in your shoulders, your arms, hands, and fingers. Check in with your chest and your upper back, all the way through the rib cage, the belly, and the low back. Soften your hips and check in. Find out what's happening in the lower body, all the way down through the legs, the feet, and the toes. And then let's just take about 3 breaths together here before we begin to move the body. So again, the eyes are closed. Your belly muscles are so darn soft that when you inhale, they naturally lift up away from the spine. And then when you exhale, they naturally move back down towards the spine. The belly's not causing the breath, it's following. Inhale and let the belly lift up away from the spine. And exhale, soften the belly down towards the spine. Notice we're softening and lengthening the breath. And one more. Inhale. And exhale. And you can open the eyes or you can leave them closed and just follow my voice. Right, your feet are already fairly wide, so you're just going to let the knees come apart now. And if you didn't have them that wide, make sure your right foot's about at the right edge of your mat, left foot about at the left edge of your mat. You're going to tee your arms out to the side with your palms up, and this one is called windshield wiper twist. Take an inhale, and with an exhale, let the knees head over to the right. Nice and gentle this morning. Inhale, bring the knees back up. Exhale your knees to the left. Inhale, back up. Adding on. Exhale, knees to the right, head turns gently to the left. If that cramps the neck or causes pain, come out of the neck. Inhale, go ahead and come on up, just meaning leave the head neutral. Exhale, the knees to the left, maybe turning the head to the right. See how that feels this morning. Inhale, back up to your neutral. One more time. Exhale, knees to the right, head to the left. Inhale, back to center. Exhale, knees to the left, head turns to the right. And come back to your center. Now from there, you're going to walk your feet into hip distance. Right? Make sure the heels are not touching the buttocks, but a little closer towards the buttocks than towards the front of your mat. We're going to move into a couple of moving, thread the needle first, I apologize. Bring the arms by the side. And then from there, you're going to put your right ankle bone just beyond your left knee bone. flex the right foot for knee protection, right thigh moves forward. Now you may already find that here your outer right hip is turning on and stretching, so you can stay right here if that's the case. You may bring the leg a little closer, the legs, interlace behind the left thigh, right? But if you're interlacing behind the thigh, still be able to lengthen the spine. Soften the shoulders down, reach the buttocks bone forward so the low back comes off the floor a little bit. That's the natural curve of the lumbar spine. And then keep that right thigh moving forward, forward, forward. And that should get you in that outer right hip pretty good. Let's take one more breath here. Inhale. And exhale, bring that down to the ground. Release your right foot down. And go ahead and take your left foot and put your left ankle bone beyond your right knee bone, or just right at the edge there, somewhere in that realm, right? Flex the left foot, left thigh moves forward. And again, you might stay right here, and this might be plenty. You might bring the legs a little closer, interlacing behind the right thigh, but then soften the shoulders down, shoulder blades down the back. And again, find that natural lumbar curve. We often round into a ball here. So see if you can reach your buttocks bones forward so that you can find a little space between the floor and the low back. And then the left thigh continues to move forward. This is all to isolate it in the outer left hip. Take a breath, inhale. Exhale. And then lower that foot down to the ground. Lower the left foot down to the ground. 2 moving bridges. You're going to have your arms by your side, and go ahead and you can push your palms down and see if that helps the chest broaden, right? The chest being your upper chest, right? And go ahead and slide the shoulder blades down the back, and then with an inhale, push into your heels, pull your pubic bone of your navel, or think of zipping up a zipper to start to lift the hips up nice and slow. And then exhale, lower down. Articulate the spine, right? Let the upper back, and then the mid back, and then the low back, and then the hips come on down. And we'll do that one more time. Inhale, start to lift the pelvis, and then the low back, mid back, and the upper back. Exhale, lower down, upper back, mid back, low back, and the hips. We're going to come up to hands and knees. So you're going to go ahead and you're going to reach that right arm overhead if that's okay with you, right? Otherwise, you can leave it by your side. Roll over to your right. Push the floor away with your left hand, and then come on up to hands and knees. And we're going to continue that articulation of the spine just to try to get the spine moving this morning. So your knees are under your hips. Your wrists are underneath your shoulders. If they're not, try to put them there. Spread the fingers wide. Push down into the hands and see if that upper back between the shoulder blades can start to activate. And push down into the shins and the tops of the feet to get the low belly to pull up and support the low back. And this one's called cat-cow. It's my favorite. I do it every single day. Shoulder blades slide down the back. Sternum reaches forward. The gaze might even shift forward. And then with your exhale, go ahead and pull your belly up into your spine. The spine rounds up to the sky, and release the head and the neck. And inhale. Again, shoulder blades move down the back. Reach the chest forward, and this one's called cow. Exhale, pull the belly in and round the spine up towards the sky, just looking for articulation in the spine. Cat. Inhale into cow pose. And exhale into cat pose. Come back to neutral. From there, you're going to bring your big toes to touch. Let your knees go a little wider than your hips. Sink your buttocks down. And go ahead and let the forehead come down to the ground. And let the forearms come down to the ground as well. So it would look like this. That said, I'm going to lift my head so you can hear my voice better, but please keep your forehead down. We're going to take 3 breaths together here. I want your awareness to be in your back body, and inhale. Try to expand your back body up to the sky and see if you can open up the back rib cage. Exhale, let your hips soften towards your heels. You're not forcing them, let them just soften. And then 2 more breaths, just like that. Inhale into your back rib cage and expand the back rib cage. And exhale, hips soften towards heels. Una más. Inhale. And exhale. Now we're going to activate or extend our child's pose. All that means the forehead stays on the ground. So if you look up at me, put the forehead back down once you get it all figured out, right? Straighten the arms and push your palms down. And as you push your palms down, your forearms and your wrists start to lift up off the ground, right? But keep the hands pushing. And then from there, pin your triceps, the outer upper arms in towards the face. And now push not only down into the ground, but push forward. Your hands don't actually move forward, but your buttocks bones reach a little further back and you get a little more length in your spinal column. So go ahead and give me one more breath there. Inhale. Should feel like a little bit of work here. Exhale. And then from there, you're going to go ahead and we're going to move into downward facing dog, right? So to do that, you just built downward dog arms, by the way. So keep the arms you just built, right? You're going to go ahead and you're going to inhale up towards hands and knees. Now pause there. Slide the shoulder blades even further down the back. Reach the chest forward, almost like that cow pose, but pull your ribs up away from the floor so you're not rounding, arching the low back. Now take your toes and curl them under about hip distance, and then start to reach the hips up and back. Bend your knees right away when you get in there, right? Go ahead and push down and forward into the mat, just like we were doing, to reach your buttocks bones further up and back and try to get any spinal length you can. By the way, if this is too much, stay on hands, knees, and do a couple of cat-cows. Take an inhale, and then with an exhale, reach your right heel down to the ground, straighten the leg any amount, doesn't have to straighten all the way. Inhale and bend that knee. And then exhale, push the left heel down, straighten that leg, lengthen it any amount. And bend that knee, and then for one breath, both heels reach down, both thighs reach back, and you get nice and long. Take a big old inhale, and then with your exhale, you're going to walk your hands back to your feet, and you're going to hang forward in a forward fold, right? So have your feet hip distance, bend the knees, grab onto your elbow points, and then check in with the neck. Make sure you're softening your neck. Your head is about 13 to 15 pounds, and it helps pull the spine long here and provide traction. So really release the neck. If that means lightly shaking the head, yes, no, to make sure it's letting go, do that for a moment, right? And then let the stillness come in. Release the shoulders, and again, the arms are about 5 to 7 pounds each. So you have over 20 pounds pulling your spine long here, creating traction and creating space between each vertebrae. Put your other forearm in front. And again, just be patient and soften into this. This is one where patience does wonders. And then go ahead and put your hands on your shins. Keep the knees a little bent for this one. Go ahead and straighten the arms, right? Slide the shoulder blades down the back and think cow pose. Reach the chest forward, and it's very similar to that cow pose we did earlier. Exhale, go ahead and fold in. And then from there, you're going to put your hands on your hips. Reach your elbows up to the sky and inhale. Reach the chest forward and come all the way back up. You're going to bring your hands together at your chest and take a big old inhale. Try to find height. With your exhale, bow your head in towards your hands and take just a moment there to be grateful for one